Mary Jane Watson is a really good character. I know it doesn't seem like it with the way Marvel treats her, but Mary Jane Watson is, in fact, a really good character with a unique position in a superhero universe. Have you ever wondered why a lot of superhero romantic interests are reporters or cops or other superheroes? Well, narratively, that makes sense because it means you can easily rope in the romantic interests into the various superhero shenanigans. Mary Jane Watson isn't that, and that's what makes her unique. Mary Jane Watson has her aspirations, and her own aspirations is to be an actress. That's her dream, is to be an actress. It's not really even connected with the superhero universe, and I actually really like this because it makes her her own character, and it actually, see, Marvel always prided itself on being more down to earth than other comic book companies. The attempt with Marvel wasn't to create outrageous characters, but was to somehow make these outrageous characters feel real. And back and forth whether Marvel achieves this, but the fact that they set their stories in real cities as opposed to made up cities was a pretty big hint that they're like, we're going for a form of verisimilitude. And Marvel would get praise often for trying to make superhero characters feel more real and realistic. And it creates a real good sense of realism that, oh my god, there's a wire. We're just going to live with that. There it is. Mary Jane is, in fact, not really connected with the superhero universe because that's just life. Married couples don't necessarily need to be in the same job. And that's why she's nice, is because she's her own character with her own wants and needs outside of Peter. It feels more like a real relationship for that reason. These aren't this, but this is, I believe this also creates a bit of a problem for writers if they don't want to work hard, because that means that Mary Jane may not be totally connected to the superhero universe, and if you want her to feel like a real character, she's going to have to do her own stuff. And that's, I think, where the problems come in. It doesn't help that for some reason we're really focused on Peter being young and single. And the truth of the matter is, in my personal opinion, a lot of people are young and married. That's not really a bit of life we see explored much. We don't get to see newlyweds learning to be married as a couple. That's not ever a thing. Usually it's newlyweds with kids, but it's never just a young couple as it's about town. And I think that would be interesting. It would feel real. I'm not saying that Peter and Mary Jane is necessarily the end all and be all of relationships, but it's a good one that fits well within Marvel's ethos. And I'm also not saying that it's necessarily been written well all the time. One of the things that is glossed over is that a lot of writers seem to not know what to do with the marriage and resented having Mary Jane there. And I'm going to be honest, I think that says more about the writers than it says about the character. But, anyways, I like Mary Jane. I like that she's her own independent character. I like that she has wants and needs outside of Peter. I feel that's a good way to go with. And a good superhero story can also just be a good story about superheroes living their lives. Anyways, I don't know. We should always be willing to try things, riskier things. Anyways, that's my brief rant about Mary Jane.